There's a certain therapeutic intervention called DBT, which stands for Dialectical Behavioral Therapy. DBT has a wide use of applications, and it has 4 modules in it. And one of the modules is emotional regulation. Some of the emotional regulation tips that we're giving here come from that background. So it's not necessarily like something that's just relegated to the clinical world, but something that we can take a lot of lessons from. When we talk about emotional regulation, a lot of that has to do with the fact that whenever our body gives us a certain response to a situation, our interpretation of that is not always what it could be. Let's say somebody walks in the room and you're starting to have a little bit of like something's going off, right? I'm pointing here because that's where your adrenal glands are. So your stress hormones come from your adrenal glands on top of your kidneys. And your body's giving you sort of like, imagine a blurry photo. Hey, there's something here. Oh, I can sort of tell it's a landscape, but it's a low resolution indicator of what's happening in the moment. Now, for a myriad of reasons, we might interpret that ping of whatever the body is saying as something very negative. And we respond in a way of like, this is a life or death scenario, because maybe in the past I've had some sort of experience that tells me anytime I feel this in my body, that means death is imminent. That's kind of an extreme example, but not really, because a lot of us might feel that way. Suffice to say, the skill of regulating those emotions as a reaction to whatever the body is saying is something that needs to be practiced. And so there are 2 ways to do that, which we're going to get into. There's co-regulation, where with the help of somebody else, we are finding that the habit that we have of reacting to X body stimuli and Y emotional response, maybe we can take just a little bit of a step back and kind of evaluate like, oh, okay, the physiological, so in the body, response to a scenario doesn't automatically have to mean I feel this way. And so by co-regulating with somebody else who is kind of on a more even keel in the moment, we can kind of have a little bit of a better awareness of how the same physiological response could lead to a different emotional response. Now, what about when you're on your own? There are a couple of self-regulation techniques you can do when you're not necessarily with somebody else in the moment. And so over the course of the next few modules, we're going to explore what exactly that looks like, some practical steps we can take, some ways of thinking about it, and leave you with some takeaways that you can action as soon as this video is over.